Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 11th episode of the Simply Mental podcast. Today, we are going to be talking about mental problems from injuries. So, there are many different effects on your mental health that can happen from injuries, whether the injury was severe or even less severe, or if it's from doing something that you love, something that you have a passion for, or anything. And so today, that's what we're going to be talking about, is some of the different effects that injuries can have on your mental health. And now, these are not the only ones, but these are just some of the ones that I'm going to be talking about today. So the first one is feeling stuck. So not being able to work towards your goals, and that feels really awful. It can be very depressing. Because everybody, if you have a goal, if you have a dream, you have a passion for something, and not being able to work towards it, not being able to work to achieve your goal or your dream can feel really awful. You can start to feel very depressed. That can be really bad for our mental health because we start to feel stuck in the situation that we're in, and like we're never going to be able to get out of this awful situation. And we're never going to be able to improve. We're never going to be able to move forward. But that's not true, because we will be able to. You will be able to move forward with your life. You will be able to move past this injury and this feeling of being stuck. But it can be hard to believe that when you aren't able to do the things that you love to do. Next is mental barriers. So if you were injured from like a sport or something that you really enjoy doing, when you go back to doing that, you're going to feel afraid, and you're going to be afraid to get injured again and not be able to do the things that you love because you're scared. And some things that we can do if we are facing these mental barriers, we can seek support from our coaches, our parents, our mentors, whoever we have in our lives that are there to help us. We can seek support from them. Or if you need support, you can seek support from God if you are religious. God will always have the answer for you. God will always be able to help you through different situations. We can set realistic goals. So if we are coming back from an injury, we can set little goals to help ourselves work towards our big goals, and so that we aren't so afraid of the different things that we are going to have to overcome. You can set little goals. So for me, when I started to face struggles with my POTS, it's not necessarily such a big injury. It's an illness, so I had to learn how to live my everyday life and how to modify things that I need to do. So setting goals for things that you want to achieve to work towards those big goals. Now I have my dog Buddy with me, so say hi, Bubs. Okay, so the next thing that we can do is take a break. I feel like, for me, I know that I definitely struggle with taking breaks. If I have a goal, I just want to work towards achieving it, and I'm not able to rest. I'm not able to take breaks, even when I know my body or my mind needs it. So that's something that I have to work towards, and that may be something that other people need to work on too, is being able to just take breaks. And then the next thing is reframing fear as excitement. So being afraid, we can change the fear of whatever to being excited for whatever. So say if I do pageants and I get nervous that I'm not going to win, but when I get those nerves, when I get that fear, I try to change my mindset to excitement for, even if I don't win, all of the fun things that I will get from it. And I will gain confidence, and I will meet new people, and I will gain experience. So reframing your fear to excitement can be very beneficial as well. And then the last one is removing distractors/stressors. So if you are working towards a goal, removing the things that stress you out, maybe it's a person or maybe it's the environment that you're in. So removing the distractors or stressors can really be beneficial to achieving our goals, so that way we are able to not have these distractions and we're not having worries about other things, and we can work towards achieving our goals. And so the next thing that I'm going to talk about, so we just talked about mental barriers. Now I'm going to talk about nightmares and flashbacks. So this can be a trauma response. If you have had an injury, you may have triggers and you may have flashbacks or nightmares, which can be very scary. It's very traumatic. Injuries can be very traumatic, and so having these nightmares and flashbacks can cause more fear of different things and working towards your goals that may have caused the injury. So really, I would definitely, if you are struggling with these things, I would definitely recommend talking to a professional, an adult, or whoever, anyone that you can trust. But definitely, I would 100% recommend speaking with a professional. It could be a school counselor, it could be a therapist, it could be whoever you are able to talk to. Definitely, please reach out. And then the next thing is a loss of purpose. So when we are injured and we are not able to do the things that we enjoy doing or work towards our dreams and our goals, we may feel a loss of purpose. You may feel like you're never going to recover, you're never going to be able to get back and do what you want to do, and that could be your life goal. Maybe your dream was to become a professional soccer player and you got injured and you weren't able to play for a year or whatever. That can be very depressing, and that can be very effective on our mental health. So just having to remember that our purpose in life isn't only to achieve our dreams. There are other things in life that we are here for too. And if that is what God wanted to happen, if everything is a part of God's plan. So God gave you that injury. So maybe that happened because God wanted you to find something else that He believes is better for you, for your life, that you may be more passionate about than what you were before. So everything that God gives you is for a reason, and you just have to trust in God's plan and just remember that everything happens for a reason. So if you are feeling a loss of purpose, try not to get too down and just remember that you will find your purpose. You will find what you are meant to do on this planet. The next thing is anger or bitterness. So anger can cause people to really just behave in ways that they've never behaved in before, or it can just change someone's whole personality, change their whole life. And people, when you're injured or when you've had a setback, you definitely will feel angry when you are seeing other people living their lives as you used to, which that can be very upsetting. It can make you feel very down and depressed because you're not able to live the way that you were before, but you are seeing other people living out your dreams, and that's hurtful. That can really just cause a lot of depression in people. And so just remember that when you are feeling this anger and this bitterness, just remember that you will get through whatever you are going through, and you will be able to move past and get back to your everyday life. And even if you can't get back to the life that you lived before, there's something new for you. And sometimes that new thing is better than what you had before. So just remember that if you are facing any of these challenges, that you're not alone, and you will get through the darkness and you'll find the light. So the quote for today is, "The comeback is always stronger than the setback." The author is unknown, but just keep pushing to get better, and everything happens for a reason, but your comeback will feel so much more worth it than because you had that setback than if you were to achieve your dreams before. You will have to work harder, but having that comeback and finally achieving the goal and the dream and whatever, you will feel so much more happier and deserved for this goal that you are achieving. And you will just feel better about achieving it because you've had that setback, and because you've had to work harder than others, and because you've had to do all of the things that you've had to do to get to the place that you're at. So just remember that everything is a part of God's plan, and that you will be able to move forward with your life. If you are facing an injury or a setback, just remember that you're going to get through it, and this is not the end of the world. You will be able to move forward with your life. Thank you guys so much for listening to today's episode, and I will see you next time. Thank you guys so much for listening to this episode of the Simply Mental podcast. If you enjoyed it, make sure to subscribe so that you can see more. And I will see you for the next episode.